Hey, Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Skylines 2. This is episode number 2. We're just getting started on this series. Now, one thing that has happened in the early days, as in it's day number 2, since the Steam launch. One thing that has happened is a pretty negative review from a lot of people who just can't run the game. Clearly, there's some optimization that Colossal Order is going to need to work on. But this is a game that's going to pass the test of time. This is a game that people are still going to be playing in 10 years. This is a game that is clearly evolved beyond what City Skylines was, and certainly beyond what SimCity ever even dreamt of being. It's a great game. It's a very, very good game. Now, I do notice for my own gameplay, I was really pleased that when I went into editing that things worked out and that there was no stuttering in-game or with my face cam. I do know I run 2 monitors and I have an elite system that's also recording at the same time, and my secondary screen stutters just a little bit, but it's not making it onto the recording. The recording's the priority. Main screen priority, then the recording is priority, and then my secondary screen. And as a result, that is where I'm just starting to run into, I can tell, I see it, I understand what some of you are going through with the optimization issues. It'll get there. It'll get resolved. It'll run more smoothly. I am running on max settings and it is working. The game does function. It's just not perfectly optimized. It'll get there. Be patient. Don't give up on the game just because it's not at its best on day one. What game ever is? Not in 2023 anyway. But let's play some more Cities Skylines 2. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm very much enjoying myself with this one. And we have just gotten into another level up, so we could begin our expansion. Let's see what we could do tile-wise, because we had only just entered into these 3 tiles that we added in. There's a lot more that can be done with that. But what are my choices? What are my goals? What are my aims? Do I want to continue that spread to the north and actually start utilizing that area and maybe pick up the shoreline? Or do I want to get into this more industrial area? Or what about to the south and venturing into there? For now, I like the idea of keeping this forest open. I mean, I can tell that there's more forest, out here. It's certainly not the only forest around. But I don't mind keeping this as kind of one neighborhood and, venturing into another neighborhood, venturing into an industrial park, venturing into another neighborhood type thing. Spreading it out a little bit. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. But as for what's next, well, that's a question I don't quite have an answer to at the moment. I think if anything, as we've started to open up this north area, we need to continue to open it up so that we can actually make use of it. I'm going to hang on to 1 tile for now. There is a cost for making these moves, but that definitely adds a nice big pocket for us. If we find we need that pocket down there, we'll use it. If we find we need this space up here, or down here, whatever the case may be, hanging on to that extra tile will be helpful. We do have 2 progression points still to use from the level up to the small village that we did a short while ago. We can get into parking areas, advanced road services. We can certainly expand upon what we have for electricity. We're not producing any ourselves. A gas power plant might be a much better option than the coal one short term. A recycling center could definitely be a good option to help us with the balance and help us deal with the waste that we're having. Power and garbage management seem to be the 2 most useful things. We've already unlocked basic education services just now, so we're going to get into that organically for the time being. I'm not sure if a gas power plant is necessarily what we want. It's just a step in the right direction. I don't think we're actually spending too much right now on... Imported electricity is actually at 30k. That is a fair bit, and it's definitely a lot more than what our monthly balance, our negative 10k is. So, you know what, let's let's start with that. That seems a viable option. Let's start producing some of our own electricity. So gas power plant it is. Oh boy, we're talking about a major thing here, folks. This gas power plant is no joke. 650,000 right up front. So there's a very big chunk of our money, but the upkeep is 625,000 a month. But it's going to produce 250 megawatts of power. We're not using anything remotely close to that, but we do have an outside connection, which means we're going to start exporting it and making money off of it. But how much do we make? Do we make more than what we're spending in the upkeep? I don't know what that trade-off is going to be. We're certainly going to save the 30K a month that we're spending right now, and as we grow and expand, we have our own power. But this is going to be a big, risky move. But it's certainly going to be worth a lot of XP, I would imagine. Alright, so we're going to install it over this gas pocket. We're going to pick up 1,000 XP for this, which is definitely going to be a lot. We're going to have to connect it with the road. We're going to have to connect the power to it. And here we go. Big move, folks. First big move of the game. And first city. There you go. We just also got our first achievement right off the bat. Road connection needs to be over
what
here.
Kind of future does music have if it
Let's pause and set this up here real quick. It's a big expense right away. Oh yeah, there's your parking right there. There's your parking lot. So there we go. Okay, we have a road connection, but we don't have a road connection. But it's quite clear that this road connection needs to be coming along the water and away from the forest. In fact, we can probably put our forestry, when we do add that in, right here next to the power station, and then operate in the forest behind it. Alright, road connection is complete. That brings us in over to that main highway section. Now the power connection, that's even easier because look how close we are. Alright, let's get things resumed. Right now we are looking at minus 12,947 per hour. And growing. But we're going to get this staffed up. And we are already starting to store power. Once it's stored up, we're going to start exporting power. Efficiency at 95% at the moment. Not enough water. Backed up sewers. Really? That should be connected properly. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. I think I know what the issue is here. And I'm guessing it's this little section of road. Correct. Okay, it is this little section of road. Alright, so I have successfully connected up our water and sewer to the power plant, so that we'll have water and sewer now. By the way, water availability is fine. We're not exporting any. No outside connection for it at this point. But the sewage treatment is doing better than it needs. And again, not exporting any of that. So that's one thing we could think about, but we need the tiles all the way to make that happen. There we go. Efficiency at 100%. We have what we need. Employees, just 10 of the 28 currently. But the electricity production at 255 megawatts will fill up that storage quite quickly. Now we should have technically an outside connection, but we'll see soon enough if we actually do. Definitely looking at an unhealthy trend. 7,600 negative. Education's available. Maybe we'll want to get our first elementary school placed in town. Kind of a key road along here, so maybe here on the edge of Oak Street would be a good place to put that. 100,000, 25,000 upkeep. Second service building, third if you count the... yes, there is definite demand right now, so let's take care of that. We have a lot of low, medium density, and commercial demand right now. With the addition of a lot of low density housing in that back pocket, filling off that back pocket, and a little bit more medium density, similar to what we have right here across the street from it. And it's going to be a busy spot for sure. But with those roundabouts, we should be able to keep traffic moving along decently well. We might need a parking lot at some stage in this area. At the elementary school, we already have 10 employees, so we're good there. It's another 25,000 in upkeep, so not helping us much there, but it's already up to 53 students. Average time to graduation is 8 months. Dropout rate just 1%. Noise pollution is low. Okay. So we have our first 57 students. There's only 930 people. We're only approaching 1,000 right now. It's still very, very early days. But we are also very quickly progressing towards the next milestone. And wow, look at that. Look at that. We've already nearly offset everything. We have 0 service trade. We are not importing any electricity anymore. The service upkeeps, they are spendy. They are definitely spendy. The government subsidies have almost dried up. But service trade, we are exporting 600,000 in electricity right now. The electricity fees are also bringing us in another 11K. So we've taken a 30K deficit, added a 750K expense, but we've turned it into, what, 625? Just about offset things. We've really just about offset things. So the electricity has worked out, and it definitely got us a lot of XP and fast. So that was a bold plan that so far is looking like it is working out. Low density demand is picking up. We still have this pocket that I have not done yet. Waiting until I have some upgrade roads. I'd like to put in just a small little ramp for that one direction, because otherwise, you're all the way over here to get on and off, and it's more time consuming. Adding in a little something there, I think, would be quite helpful. I also think I need to make use of this with some housing that we can throw under the bridge, a road that goes that way and then connects up with that one, and fill in that zone a bit. This will be some more low density housing, or at least this pocket will. We're going to go for medium density apartment style buildings for a little section here next to the freeway. And then some medium density row housing here on this other side. And that should help take care of some of the needs there. But we also, I think, need to have some commercial on this side. This is going to be ending up being a little bit more of a major road here. So I'm going to stick the commercial. We'll connect up and go other directions. But for now, I have the bridge that comes across and then comes down into this really nice waterfront property here. And then comes up the hill a little bit, sweeps back, goes under the bridge, and then we're going to get some small area with some low density housing. And we are just about to level up, by the way. In game, we started in the month of June. In game, it's now the month of July. Each day-night cycle is a month. So we are in the middle of our second day. And there it is. Milestone number 3. We are now a large village. Another 800,000 in the bank. 3 more progression points. 5 more tiles available to us. We have exceeded 1,000 people in our large village now, with 1,036 and counting, now 43. And we're right back to where we were in the finances at a 1.6 million, despite a very large expense, and really a couple larger expenses when you count the elementary school as well. Loan limit has gone up. We now have service budgets. Livestock farming is available to us. Stone mining, fire and rescue is adding in, and the development tree that goes with it. So the firehouse, police and administration and its development tree, police station. So some larger city services or town services are now available to us. And of course, we already had that first achievement, my first city. By the way, not a lot of people track this, and it's not a big thing, and I will not bring it up on a regular basis, but every once in a while I'll just kind of give note to it. But one of the things that I do on the channel, that I've always done on the channel, hence the Decathlon gamer, 10 games, 10 events, used to be 10 games, now I just play games, but I do scoring, and the scoring for this game is quite simple. I'm only scoring 2 things: the milestones and the achievements. The milestones are the big one. Getting to the megalopolis, that's going to be the big one. And there's 20 checkpoints. I'm doing 30 points for each one. That's going to add up to 600 points for the game. So far, we have 90 points now. Achievements, There's 38 currently. There might be more later. But going 10 points for each of those, 380. When I get, or if I get all of them, I'll round up to 400. That's the 1,000 points for the game. That's the way to get it. It's really just the two things. So try to get all the achievements, try to complete all the milestones. That's the game. That's how you beat the game. That's how I score the game. So at the moment, with 10 here, 90 here, I have exactly 100 points in game. Of course, it gets harder as you go along. So getting points later on is going to be a lot more difficult than it is early on. Well, that next thing that was definitely standing out to me was the recycling center and what that could do for us. So we're going to go ahead and unlock the recycling center now. I still have 1 point available, as the advanced road services is 1. But parking areas is 2. Highways, that's what I eventually want to get to. So let's go ahead and spend our other point on the advanced road services. And that population continues to grow rapidly, already up over 1,100, really filling in quite quickly. We're down to a negative of 3,000, which is it's a lot better than what it was there briefly anyway. First row housing is in. It's the commercial that has the biggest demand right now. And I'm getting closer, much closer, to kind of expanding into our second area. There's still a little bit left to do kind of in this particular area before we change things up. Now, something I do have is we do have our double lane here and that freeway entrance. I'm thinking about changing the road connection to kind of a primary road back along here that eventually kind of comes in and replaces this one, and we, I don't know, do like a small dead end type road, cutting this off or something, then reconnecting this is kind of the new main primary route. Might not be a bad time to do that. That does hurt the commercial that's here, but maybe we find a way to connect that to the main route the other way and cut it off at the traffic circle or something. I just kind of want to make the traffic a little more smooth. For the moment, I'm not quite sure exactly what I want to do else with this one, though I think maybe taking this road and kind of bringing it into here instead of having it run all the way here might be a little bit better option than having a very weird T-section such as that one, and then that'll make sense with the extension of what we have here. So let's go ahead and back to a small road and curve, and oh gosh, we just lost our water connection to everything, really?
And on to our main feature story. The commercial district is booming.
I think before it gets too late, I need to make traffic circles here to keep traffic flowing. It is going to impact some houses, or we just have a couple stoplights. Guess we could always make that change later. Right now, it's the only thing it would impact is if I add a house here, because we're not going to add one here. The school should be safe on that. Okay, now the need for industrial finally comes up. It's been a long time since we've had any sort of desire for industrial, but it pops up now. I do have 6 tiles available, and I'm kind of nervous about continually building in this area. I'd like to get us across that river by the railroad tracks. You know what? Not a big deal yet. Not a big deal right now. By the way, I think our next ramps, as we have one here, our next ramps need to be right down here. So we're going to need to build ramps either way, but we can bridge across, really. Well, that next thing that I wanted to do to help us make some money is get a recycling center. So let's get it on the go. 880,000, that's half of our money. That's a lot. It's absolutely a lot. But this garbage management department, and for 160,000 upkeep, obviously is going to drive that cost up immediately. But once we get some employees in here, we should be able to get some trucks in use on the go and making some money. So what do we have for upgrades with this one? Garbage truck depot. That's adding more trucks. hazardous waste collection point is expensive. I don't think we're going to be producing enough waste to really make much off of that at the moment. And storage extension. I think we're fine leaving it as is for the time being. Now we're starting to get those employees. And let's hope that we're going to be saving some money here. Putting it into a good thing. Government subsidies are back up a bit. Service trade, that's the exported electricity. Service fees. Education, 6K, nice. Electricity's up to 17K now. Taxes I have not started to change. We want to get into that soon. But the maintenance and resources is definitely costing us everything. It's the one that we're coming up short on. Taxation. Let's change it just a little bit. 11's already kind of, well, 10's already kind of high, but let's bump everything to 11. Everyone's very happy right now, so happiness is at a very high. High crime is the big negative, so we need to deal with crime first before fire. At the moment, the garbage management is costing us a lot more than the electricity is. The electricity is coming at a cost right now. It's not quite going the way we want it to, as the export and the fees are not adding up to the maintenance and resources. But it was minus 30,000 before. It's minus 138 right now. It's a little bit of a negative, but it's not a huge negative, and it definitely helped us level up a lot faster. On the garbage management, though, at the moment, nothing doing on that, but we'll give that a little time. Police station, upkeep's only 38,000, and that's the big negative that we're experiencing. So why don't we add in a police station? Let's see where it's going to be a good place. You know what? This should be a little closer to like over there, or let's see. No, this really does need to be here. We're going to kind of place this in the middle to avoid that traffic circle issue we might encounter later on. 600,000 at the moment, but our large village has already nearly leveled up for us, and we still have all those tiles available to us. So there's a lot of untapped land at the moment that we could be building into. Medium density in high demand, commercial in fairly high demand, industrial in demand. Though we are producing more industrial than what we were. It's time that I start something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Okay, another 4-lane road. And we're gonna go right here. Alright, so starting this progression into the Northlands, I'm not gonna go too aggressive with some of what's in here, but we have some big demands in a lot of different areas right now. So we are gonna add in a little more industrial, and I want to change. No, that's fine as a regular intersection. Saving the majority of the forest for forestry at some point here when we have that available to us. I've now added in this road that wraps underneath that bridge to there. Eventually that'll connect up to that new area we just made for the commercial industrial, but this is going to be all residential through here with one little side road a little bit closer to the freeway ramp. Before I can add any of the housing in, we have hit milestone number 4. Now we are a grand village already, progressing nicely. 1 million for this one. 1 million. 4 more progression points, 6 more tiles. That gives me 12 for the moment. Loan limit's now another 250k higher. We have district creation tools, so now we can create districts, which is going to lead to other things as time goes on. Production panel. We have policies. That's the one that I was looking for. Policies finally come in. Natural disasters are now available to us now that we're big enough. Uh-oh. I do have that turned on. Transportation overview. Low rent housing. That's good. That's a new option for us that we didn't have. Low density offices. apparently. Okay, that's a totally new area. Grain farming, forestry. There you go. Forestry is unlocked. You know we're going to tap into that one here real soon. Transportation, add a new development tree for that. We have bus depots, double public transport lane, a one-way public transport lane. We have a taxi depot, with parks and rec with the development tree for that. Small, medium parks, dog parks, and a number of special buildings. Quite a few of them, expensive ones, and a taxi minimum fare. Okay, 4 points available to us. We have the highways, the large roads, parking areas. We've already delved into electricity. We're fine there for a while. Water treatment plant could always be a good thing. Wastewater treated water can be safely recirculated into the water network or disposed of in the environment. That's certainly a money saver long term for us. Healthcare, getting upgraded to a hospital. We have a clinic right now. I think that might hold us over a little bit longer, though we don't have a crematorium. College might be cheap to get into development point wise, but it's not cheap to get into expense wise. It's very expensive. Small emergency shelter, fire watch tower, fire station. A welfare office certainly could be a good thing. Financial support for low income. Basic transportation, okay. So we have water transport, we have train. Train is definitely one of those things we've been wanting to tap into. Might not be a bad idea. What do we have? Basic parks and rec. Park maintenance. Large parks, sports parks. Okay, well, we're definitely getting somewhere. I want to unlock what's going on with highways, though, because that's something we are not properly tapped into right now. I have 2 points left. We have high density. Residential demand is very high. Medium density and low density is a bit lower. So we definitely need some high density and medium density. I don't have anything properly set for high density right now, unless we put it into this area. You do have that commercial nearby. We don't have a proper entrance to. It's like where do you put it? Oh, that's okay. That's the low rent housing. I'm going to put a little commercial pocket in here. Kind of a local store type situation. And office zones, we don't have any demand for it for small office buildings, but why don't we set it up a little bit for when it comes up. Some in there. Okay, now I have not fulfilled the high density need, but what I want to fulfill, we sit at 1.6 million, by the way. Just got my second achievement, having all 4 zone types, as somebody picked up an office building now, but we are set to do forestry. I'd like to kind of put it out here. There are limitations on what we could do forestry wise space. It's only so big. You see that circle? That's as far as you could place. So, if you get here, sure, we could get more. For the time being, I have 1 that's placed. I might be able to squeeze in another one to get this forestry back here, or maybe we'll go for this forestry out here. That's the more likely. I'll probably do a small road back to here and try to collect that forestry. But for now, we do have our first level 1 right now. It's only 1 employee, really? Okay. Alright, well, they have their employee. That's going to start making some money for us. We definitely have industries going. Look at that. That high density residential stuff that's in demand right now, but I'm not quite sure where is a safe place to put it. I mean, this area of parking is a real issue. I can put it here, but I have not connected it up. Maybe I just need to connect it up. In fact, if we put another major road. So population is booming, 1,700 people. That's a massive increase, and we've really doubled since the start of this episode. And we're at 1.6 million, or just about, which is also pretty much where we started the episode. We've got a long ways to go to the 5th milestone, though. Current balance, minus 5,000 an hour is definitely not good, but with the things that we've added in, could be a lot worse. And we have 12 tiles available, so we can make some big expansion, and we've started pushing into new areas. We're definitely kind of shaping our city this way right now, saving this as available forestry, but the forestry at the moment is only just getting started. It's very minor. But we've got a recycling center, we've got our own power plant, we're all connected up. I still have a little bit of space left to work with in this first little portion of town. And we've definitely eased the burden a little bit by making a 4-lane all through here, connecting right up to the on-ramp. I'm very happy with this early progress. It's still July, folks. We've not even gotten out of July, so it's still just the second game month. And we're already up to a grand village and growing pretty rapidly. I'm bringing industries in as we go along. I still need fire. We haven't gotten into there. And transportation is another big one that we just unlocked that we're going to need to start getting into. Adding in bus routes, connecting up our industrial and whatnot. I have lots of tiles to grow and expand into totally different areas than where we're at right now. Obviously we're just starting to play into this kind of northern market. I'm going to want to, and probably right about here, get our first bridge to go over the freeway to link up the two sides beyond this link up, here, and beyond this link up right here. As soon as I can, which I think I can, actually. I think I have unlocked highway. We're going to be adding in another on-ramp, off-ramp in this area, which, when you add in a second bridge with that, you'll have two bridges across through here with one on-ramp, off-ramp. We'll make that pretty convenient, which will make it pretty easy to then fill in this area. We're looking at a bit of a valley through there, so you're going to have to be careful when you build that one, or when you choose to build through that area. You might want to kind of cut off some services here and then pick it up again on the other side and leave some empty space there. Otherwise you're dealing with some weird terrain. We do have a little private farmhouse over here that we'll want to link up to at some stage, but I'm happy with our early progress. I'm very happy with our early progress. Keeping things in check. Already we've added nearly 100 more people in a matter of moments, and a deficit of 5,000, not bad considering the services, the expense of the services we've added in versus the kind of the sources of income. And we're definitely taking care of needs as they arise, so we're keeping that managed fairly well. One of the only things I'm not too pleased with is that this is forcing our industrial to be growing in this direction, and I'm not wanting it necessarily to continue up that way. I'd kind of like to bring it across, but at some point, now that we have rail, or do we have rail? Did I open rail? I don't think I opened rail just yet. We're going to open rail fairly soon. Anyway, we're definitely going to want a station over here. That's awfully soon for a second station. I think we'll have a small industrial area, and that's going to be it there. And then we're going to kind of link it up with what's over here and make sure that our rail station is there. And this is going to be our big industrial pocket, is this area down here. But there's a long ways to go. I mean, look how far this map reaches. This is just the beginning, folks. Just the beginning. That's going to do it for this episode, though. If you remember from the first episode, I mentioned the algorithm and how important it is. Well, it's the first 3 episodes where it is most vital, where it's going to influence whether people watch a series or not. A lot of people will tune into a second episode briefly and go, oh yes, I want to see more of this, go back, watch the first episode, or even start from a second, maybe a third. Once you get further into a series, the algorithm doesn't do much. It's that first episode that really mattered at that point. But episodes 2 and 3 absolutely do help build an audience, do help influence the algorithm, and so it's there where it matters most. If you can take a second, drop below, click that like button, leave a comment, let me know how you think we're doing, how we're progressing so far. Am I building myself a bit of a trap traffic-wise, or do we have potential? Are we doing well? I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.